transmitting from South America. Sorry about earlier. I had to delete the first scheduled live because it wouldn't let me cast my screen. So yeah, I'm waiting now for people to arrive. So let's see here. Let's wait for people. Hello everyone. Yes. Let's see if there are people here. This is Pretty Astro Live. I'm going to be talking about the Nicola Inquest, day 2. Let's see if everything is on place. Hello everyone, whoever is there. Yep. Hello everyone. Yes, so the chat is working. Say hello, whoever you are, if you're there. I'm going to pour myself a nice yerba mate and I'm waiting for you here, okay? Hello to people, whoever you are, say hello in the chat if you want to, so we can start getting this thing going. Today's quite miserable day here weather-wise. It's windy, rainy, cold. So the Indian summer ended pretty quickly today. So hello Unity. Here you are with your brother and your best friend. Well, I'm glad you are with people who love you. And Martin, hey Martin. Good old Martin. Hi Gritty, it's hot and sunny here now. Well, that's a real, I mean now it's, again, now it's alright because you are in summer guys, so it should be hot and nice. And here, because we are in winter, it's cold, rainy and windy today. So let's see who else jumps in. 4 people watching now, say hello in the chat if you wanted to make this thing go up, because as you know, this is a conversation for me. This is not just me talking to the void, it's talking to you people. So whoever is there watching, please comment on the chat so we can further this conversation about the final day of the inquest of Nicola Bulley. I am Nikki, hashtag I am Nikki, and I'm going to be covering and dissecting the day 2, okay? And that would conclude the official, part of the Nicola Bulley story. Hello, Sheila. I don't know why. Maybe I think the other day, Deborah, which I hope she comes on the chat, Debbie, she complained that some of her comments had gone, but it was because something about the chat going away. And that's because my YouTube was processing the video, the live, and it took it 24 hours, one full day to show the repeat chat. So yeah, the replay, like in football, replay. Hi Sheila, hi Unity, hi Martin. There are 4 people watching now. I guess there's another one. Say hi. So Sheila, I don't know about the chat. I don't know why the highs or anything goes away, that's YouTube's business. I think it's because my channel is pretty new and I'm pretty new at making lives. So maybe it's a way to, to be just to test my life, just to see if, I am some kind of, I don't know, ghoul or whatever. Sheila says, no one was there. I said, hi, where is everyone? Then the video disappeared. Oh dear. Oh, you mean yeah, because the first one, um, the one that was scheduled today, I had to delete it and make a new one because it didn't allow me to screencast, so you guys can see this. Because I want to show you the appropriate material that I'm reading from, and that is going to be the Lancashire Live, the Lancs Live updates on the Nicola Bulley case, the Nicola Bulley Inquest. So I had to delete the first one. So if you were there, I'm sorry, but I had to because I needed to cast my screen, and it wasn't doing it. So I had to delete it and create a new live. So sorry about that, Sheila. Unity Collins says waffling ground zero. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Would you care to elaborate, Unity? Waffle ground zero. I love your lines. So it's like ground zero. What does it mean? When they say ground zero, I remember I think of 9/11. So I don't know what that means. But hey, Unity. 5 people watching now. Hello, everyone. Whoever you 5 are. Well, some of you are here on chat. So I'm going to wait just another minute to see if somebody else wants to be watching. I'm going to go there. Unity Collins says a nuclear bomb goes off. The center is ground zero. Wow. So are you saying that I'm a nuclear bomb? Yeah, I mean, nuclear bomb. Yeah, that destroys everything. So the only thing I want to destroy, it's the lies and the sham, the injustice, the evil. That's what I would like to really destroy. Really, just now and whenever, But yeah, maybe destroy a glass of wine some then and there, Yeah, waffle ground zero. So 7 people watching now. Yeah, it's picking up. So I know you guys. Hello, whoever you are. Maybe you are in Australia. I hope there's somebody from Australia because you guys are experiencing winter as me. So I know it's cold there today, especially I think in Sydney and Adelaide. It's like 11 degrees. And yeah, here's like 11 degrees or 12, something like that. It's very miserable, the weather today, but I am snuggled up here in my office, so everything is fine. Jean Wilson, I am from England. Hello, Jean, a new one. I never saw you before, I think. So hello, Jean, welcome. Sheila says, like winter in Wales. Oh yeah, you mean like miserable, like rainy, windy, like cold. It's like 11 degrees now here, like centigrade degrees, Celsius, sorry. 11, 12 degrees Celsius, but because of the wind, it's worse. So yeah, it's 5 people watching now, so okay. I hope everybody's doing fine. So I am going to, I hope you like my poster that I did today with Nikki this green. Do you see the green photo that I have here? That's Nikki, and that's her spirit to me. I did this picture, I created it, and for me this picture is her spirit near the river, and she lives on among the green, because I know she loved the green, nature, trees, grass, willow, and yeah, she loved nature. So that is why I made this. For me, it's like a spiritual picture of her, how I see her overlooking, nature, like a good spirit, and I think she's overlooking us to make sure that, we don't give up, and that we leave testimony of what some of us think, and that is that the inquest should have thrown a verdict of open verdict. Like, if new evidence would come in, it would be reopened. Okay, and they didn't do that. The coroner didn't do that. So shame on him and shame on the police, who didn't care to treat this case seriously. Who knows why? But we know they managed this case in a horrifying way, disgraceful, and I would say corrupt way. And yeah, I hope you like the picture. It's not, for me, it's her spirit in nature. Like, you know, just she's there, it's like her memory goes on, lives on. So let's see, people. A lovely day here today. Well, I'm glad. 13, Unity says, 13 is the record. Stay till we break the gritty astro record. Yeah, I will stay. I have noticed that, yeah, my biggest, like, live people watching now was like 12, and now it's just 7, and it hasn't gone to 12 anymore. So I'm guessing it's an issue of timing, because I live thousands of miles away from you guys in UK. So yeah, we have a 4-hour difference. So maybe when I go live, you guys are not there. You're busy doing something else in your schedule. And maybe it's because yeah, the scheduling, the timing is wrong. Maybe it's because YouTube knows that I'm in South America, not in the UK. So if I was in the UK, I'm sure people would, like, the algorithm of YouTube would alert much more people that I am going live, because I'm in the UK and it's a UK related crime. Yeah, and also because I'm a new channel, so YouTube really controls. In the beginning, especially, they control how many people can watch your lives. It's very controlling, because they don't know what I am up to, really, because I am new. So it may be that. And hello, Sheila. Yeah, it's 1908 in UK. Yep. So it's a Thursday. So I hope it's not. I don't know how it's with the routine. It's like this a good time to go live for you guys? Just tell me in chat. Is this a good time at 7 o'clock UK time? Is it a good time to go live, or would you prefer another time? Just tell me in chat, because I want to have as much people as I can, of course, because first, okay, it's my channel is new, I want to grow it, all that, but also I want these lives are designed to bring some kind of truth to the Nikki Bulley case. So I want to spread the word. Say the word and you'll be free. Say the word and be like me. It's all fun. The word's love. Great song by the Beatles. The word. Say the word. And the word is love. Very 60s, yeah. But I think love is the answer. So we have 7 people. Martin says, hi Sheila, sorry. Unity says, I am Nikki, is greatest tribute. Yes, Unity, that's right. It is our tribute to Nikki. I am Nikki. So as long as this case it's goes cold, and I mean for all purposes, Nikki Bulley case has gone like it's closed, it's done, it's a wrap, like Andrew Snowden would say, wouldn't he? It's like it's a wrap, like it's fine, it's a wrap, guys, I mean, this went well, didn't it? So what a disgrace, oh my god. I mean, if that guy from the top, he's the top, right? He's an elected position, but he overlooks, he's a commissioner of the Lancashire police, isn't he? And if he, the one who overlooks the police, the whole police in Lancashire, if he acts that way with such impunity and with such talking as this is a funny matter, like light matter. He speaks lightly of Nikki, of this case. So if he doesn't care, and he also says that the police knew exactly when she was going to be found. Well, if Andrew Snowden, the top commissioner or whatever of the Lancashire police, can say that with impunity, then what can you expect from the lower ranks, okay? What can you expect indeed? So 8 people watching now. Give me a second. I'm going to just bear with me because, as Unity says, I'm waffle ground zero or whatever, and I'm a bit of a waffler because I like conversing with people. I like making recorded podcasts when I read from a text, but lives are for waffling and for, of course, for talking about whatever, So give me a second. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. So, Martin says, we love you. We love your waffling, Gritty. Oh, you're such a sweetheart. I mean, that really warms my heart. And, it's a small group, but, I love you guys. I know I'm new and I've done like, 4 lives, but it's like you guys keep showing up and, it might be a small group, but it's a great group, It's not about the numbers, it's about the quality. At least I know that in my heart. So, hopefully it will increase with time if YouTube increases my reach or whatever, because I think this is a YouTube thing. Because if you guys love me so much, and I know you do, then why isn't my live reaching more people? I mean, I have like 250 subscribers, so it's not reaching them, is it? So that's weird, isn't it? Unity says Gritty is the maple syrup on waffles. Well, that's nice, isn't it? That's yummy. Now I want a waffle while I waffle. And so 8 people watching, so I'm guessing that's, I mean, I've seen these other guys who stream and they are like, half an hour just waffling, waiting for all his their subscribers to come on in, ITB, come on in. And yeah, and he waits and like for, I don't know, 20 minutes or 30 minutes before he officially starts his live, so people can come in as much as possible, but maybe it's just my reach isn't good because I'm new and I am in South America, far away from you guys. I don't know. YouTube is a YouTube thing or whatever. So don't forget I have 2 people here with me. Oh, Unity, yeah. So there are 3 people watching with me with Unity. So it's Unity and his brother and his friend. So that's nice. So that would be 12 people. Uh, that's funny. That's kind of like sweet, you know. So tell me again, if you want, tell me which is the best time for me to go live, so you guys in the UK can hear me. You know, that's what I want to know. If you know which is the best time that you are available to listen to a long live such as this, because normally, as you know, this kind of live takes me 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. The other day was like almost 3 hours. So is this an okay time, or should it be later, earlier? Who knows? Martin says it's the algorithm. It's the algorithms, Gritty. They don't pick improperly still. Yeah, I'm sure that because I learned something, you know, before I went live and before I started doing this. I When I was being verified to be able to do lives, I read a lot on YouTube guidelines, whatever, and they say that at first they monitor you and they keep they lower your reach just to make sure. So it might be that. I don't know. Also, I know that there are YouTubers who like waffle for about half an hour before they start their actual live, because they want as many people as possible in the chat watching, you know. So yeah, I guess. Hi, Sheila. Lucy. Hello, Lucy. Hey, Gritty and all. Hello, Lucy. Another one, another loyal one of the small Gritty group so far. Martin, Lucy, Sheila, Deborah, who isn't here. Where are you, Deborah? She's always here, and she told me she missed the one before, and she's not here, so maybe she's just busy. But I send you a big hug, Deborah, wherever you are. I hope you join us. So hello, Jean, Unity, of course, and Martin. Yep. Lucy, hi. Yeah, 9 people watching now. So I hope you like this photo, this wallpaper I made for Nikki. It's her spirit. So I'm going to go to the inquest page. Okay. I'm going to start reading from the day 2, inquest day 2, and I'm going to slice it to see the inconsistencies. As you know, in the previous lives, we unpacked a lot of tiny details that make it very inconsistent. So, day 2 due to begin. This was on Tuesday, the 27th. That's a big number for Nikki, isn't it? 27th of June. And yep, now we are in July. So day 2 due to begin. So partner Paul Ansel is going to give evidence. And another thing I want to stress is that Nikki's boss was due to give evidence on this day, on the second day of the inquest, but then he was erased from the online media, from the mainstream media, and he didn't actually give any testimony. So that's a big red flag for me. I want to know why didn't Nikki's boss didn't give testimony, and why was he erased from the witness list on the mainstream media. It was here on Lang's Live, and then it was erased. So let's go. Yeah, what's expected. The hearing was originally scheduled to last for 2 days, and that time remains in place. Today's proceedings are due to begin at 10, And the inquest is expected to hear first from a mental health expert and then from Nicholas GP. Her sister Louise Cunningham is also expected to speak with Nicholas' partner Paul Ansel, the final witness. It's like the final countdown. The final countdown. It's like Paul is the last, the final witness. It's like even the papers. It's like they're so. And they're just bashing us, the public, as they tell us we are ghouls, we are like bad people, like we make a show of Nikki. And no, and these are the people who making a show of Nikki, like the papers, the mainstream media, and the police, and key members of St. Michael's, and the system in general. Those are the ones who are making fun of, and they are harming Nikki and Nikki's memory and Nikki's family. Okay, so partner Paul Ansel is the final witness. Oh God. So let's see who are there. 12 people watching now. Hello, 12. The 12 tribes of Gritty Astro. Yeah. So love the trippy music. Yeah. Thank you, Unity. I love trippy music as well. It really calms me and puts me in the zone to waffle, and it's really relaxing. And I love trippy psychedelic music. Sheila says, yeah, Emma White wasn't there. Exactly. She was a key witness from my view because, one, she said, and I have the videos, she said that she waved Nikki and spoke briefly with Nikki that day in the school car park. So, and she was the mouthpiece of this whole charade. She was the one giving like tons of interviews. She was like the queen bee. She was the queen bee along with Becky Smith. But Emma White was like the queen bee of St. Michael's / Bring Nikki Home campaign. Also, remember, she was the one who, Nikki hadn't gone missing for 2 days still, and she started like a fundraiser for £100,000. What? What did she know that she wasn't coming back? What the hell? It's not that I see that it's wrong to make a fundraiser to raise funds for whatever, but because it is her, she was giving interviews like everywhere, all the time. I know she lied on camera. I have it on the videos. I know for a fact she lied on various occasions. It's like and then the £100,000 GoFundMe. And she knew, people knew she was so wrong that she had to take it down. She didn't take it down. She downgraded it from 100,000 then to I don't know, it was like 50,000 and then to 25,000. It's so greedy. That for me, that action, £100,000 for someone who had been gone for just about like 2-3 days. I think it was just three days when she made the GoFundMe. And who does that? That for me is a sign of greed, just utter greed, the love of money, 100,000 quid, and they didn't know, allegedly, they didn't know that Nikki wasn't ever coming back alive. So I don't get it. And for your information, FYI, the SGI Peter Folding, they did it completely free of charge. So she didn't need the money for the Peter Folding thing. What did she need the money for? £100,000? You can buy a fucking house with that. With that I could buy, a mansion here by the beach. And it's like, Wow. Yeah, and Emma, the queen bee, oh, she doesn't go to her best friend's inquest because she fears for her life. Come on. I mean, that just tells me she's the typical narcissist, self-centered person that she thinks everything revolves around her. Um, and also, it's very suspect for me. I mean, she either is a narcissist who couldn't help herself to be on camera all the time, smirking, like smiling, like if as if this was very funny, And supposedly Nikki was one of her best friends, but she's smiling on camera. She's giving like this diva, and then she doesn't go to her best friend's inquest. Oh dear, you know, it's like it's unbelievable. So let's see the people. There is 13 people. Yay, record unity. Unity, we have 13 people watching now. Record. Hello 13. Hello 13. Yeah, she came across fake Lucy. Emma did. From the first time I laid my eyes on her, the way she spoke, the way she looked, the way her body language, the way she smiled, how greedy she was at first with the 100,000 pounds campaign. Yeah, and Martin says they were so afraid there'd be a riot at the inquest. They made it difficult to attend. Yeah, right. But that didn't happen, did it? I mean, everything was peaceful. Nothing happened. It was just a scare tactic by the police, and whoever else is involved in this mess. It was a scare tactic to portray the public as some kind of terrorists. And so I think Emma didn't go because she knew that maybe something happened, and the people in the inquest didn't want her there, or maybe Paul didn't want her there. But I don't buy that she's scared for her life, scared for her security. I really truly don't believe that is the case. Okay, I think she didn't attend because first, maybe because she's a diva, she's a drama queen, and if she didn't go, people would say, "Oh, Emma didn't go," and why, and everything will be thinking about Emma, and she loves that, doesn't she? And then I think she didn't go because maybe she knew people don't like her, and she didn't want to face the music, so to speak. But I don't think it was a question of security. If the inquest proceeded peacefully, with nothing, no altercation, nothing wrong, neither inside nor outside of the court. Okay. Yeah, Peter Folding needs donations. Well, Unity, what do you mean with that? Peter Folding is doing well in his song. He's a well-renowned how do you say, oh god, searcher, and he has a company for like a long time, and he does really well. But they did him wrong. I always thought, and I still believe, that they did him wrong. They did him dirty, and they cancelled him. The Lancashire Constabulary cancelled him. Okay. So let's see, people. I feel bad. Lucy says, I feel bad for Peter. He did his job well. Yes, he did. People, he's a professional. He has like 20 years plus or 30 years plus experience in searching for bodies in the water and on land. So he's not just some Johnny come lately. He's not a new guy. He's a real professional. Yeah. And they cancel him, totally cancel him. They doxed him. Is that the right word? But I mean, they shadow banned him. Well, they actually banned him from the Lancashire police. Oh dear. Another big red flag, of course. And Martin says, Peter Folding's the only one to come out of this with integrity. Well, I mean, yes, because he did his job well, obviously, because he's a full professional with decades of experience, and because he told, what he saw. He obviously, I mean, imagine a professional person with years and years of experience and a reputation to keep, to say that on camera, to actually he risked his reputation when he said that this didn't feel right, that it was impossible that Nikki was in the river. And he also suggested that, yeah, the phone and the dog were decoys. Yeah. So, I mean, so he really went out there with his frank opinion, and they canceled him. I mean, he wasn't even invited to the inquest to give testimony. I mean, he should have testified because he was the one who searched for her and he knew the conditions of the river and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, they did him dirty. Lucy says, I feel bad for Peter. He did his job well. Yeah. Sheila says, I was told that she had been threatened when someone said she had personal reasons. Yeah, I don't think that's true. I mean, threatened. I mean, who is going to threaten Emma? I mean, it doesn't make sense. I mean, it's quite well known that she isn't liked by the people who don't believe the narrative, but to threaten her, no, I don't think that that's true. Sheila says Peter is a multimillionaire. Exactly. I mean, he didn't need the money, he didn't need anything, and he did it for free. He came to Wales to search for little April Jones, who was murdered. Oh, that's terrible. Bless her. I mean, those kind of things that happen, they are so terrifying. Lucy says, I remember April Jones. Yeah, I don't know about that case, but yeah, I mean, I know a lot. I have seen lots of true crime, and some of the crimes in the UK are quite horrible. Like, it really baffles me because the UK for me was like a nice place, safe place, but you see all this horrendous stuff going on, and children murdered. It's like, what? Like, we know all the women that were found in Lancashire dead, people dead in the river. It's so strange, you know. So 12 people watching, strong, yay. So let's go on with the inquest day 2. We expect we then expect coroner Dr. James Adley to spend around 2 hours considering all the evidence before delivering his conclusion. Yeah, sure. I don't think he spent 2 hours because the game was already rigged, so he knew what the outcome was going to be. Accidental death. I'm sure of that. And of course, in the end, Lancashire Constabulary is expected to release a statement upon the completion of the inquest, which, by the way, they also slammed the public. If I'm not in the wrong here, they again slammed the public when they are the problem, okay? So, 9:58, activity in the council chamber. Yesterday's proceedings started a fair while later than the planned 10 a.m. start. That's fairly standard for complex inquests such as this. Yeah. Where plenty is happening behind the scenes. Yeah, like what? What is it? The only thing that is happening behind the scenes, it's the cover up. Okay, on all sides. Today seems to be more punctual, however, with witnesses of and members of the public now being brought into the council chamber, which is serving as the coroner's court today. Nicola's family members now are assembling. Nicola's parents to give evidence. Dot and Ernest Bulley are going to speak during today's proceedings. in relation to the evening before she went missing. And by the way, that night before, I think is crucial that something happened to Nikki. She found out something, or she had a big argument with somebody, or she made a decision. Who knows? But something happened there the evening before. They had not previously expected to do so, but the family solicitor said they were at the house that night and would like to give evidence. Okay. They were at the house that night and would like to give evidence. So they were at the at Nikki's house, minding the children, and they would like to give evidence. I wonder if they wanted to say something more, but they couldn't in the end. We will never know about that, will we? Okay, so here we go to the GP, Nikki's GP. Hello, 14 people watching now. Hello, 14. I have just broken the record. 14 people. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for watching. Martin says when the family solicitor turned up and asked for an accidental death verdict, it made it easy for the coroner. Well, of course, but I think the coroner, obviously, I mean, if the coroner was honest, he wouldn't have given that verdict, right? Because if you have the evidence and you know that you need to give an open death verdict, you shouldn't, as a coroner, you shouldn't be pressured by anyone. It doesn't matter if it's Nikki's family. You shouldn't be pressured to do so, right? You should be neutral, right? Yeah, 15. Yay! Thank you, Lucy. Yay. Yay. 15. Getting excited for you, Gritty. Yeah, thank you. So thank you very much. So let's go on with this. Is very crucial because it speaks about Nikki in a very personal way. Her GP, her doctor. Yeah. So, Dr. Rebecca Gray has been asked to step up to give evidence first. So she is the first witness. She works at Great Eccleston Health Center and was Nicola's GP. She explained that Nicola had previously spoke about anxiety and been prescribed antidepressants and beta blockers. So it's very common to have anxiety, especially in today's world. And if she was perimenopausal or menopausal, it's very common. It's a very common symptom to be, jittery and to have anxiety, even low mood, changing moods. Yeah, it's very common. So it's not. I mean, everybody now just takes something for anxiety, right? Because we live in this world. So anxiety is very common. So it's not like she was so anxious. And I think it's because it's a normal symptom if they are referring to her health, okay, that she was perimenopausal, etc., etc. In January 2022, Nikki presented with fatigue and said she felt more anxious. Well, that's very common with perimenopause. It's one of the most common symptoms. If you look up a list of common symptoms during the perimenopause, you will those are one of the top ones, like anxiety and fatigue. Okay. She said she had started a new job. Yeah, because she started her job as a mortgage advisor in 2022. That's when she created her website, her Facebook page for her, like a professional page, okay? As a mortgage advisor. This was a different account from her personal account, okay? And by the way, someone has been tampering with that Facebook page as well. They have been deleting information, because I've seen this. I went through this page, her professional page on Facebook many times when I was investigating her case, and now when in these last few weeks, I have detected that the information from her Facebook page it's like being deleted, like slowly, you know it's like she's vanishing slowly, even from social media, because I remember that of course her personal Facebook, it was limited, okay, I can understand that, but her professional one was, up and running, it was fine. But I have detected that it has been slowly deleted. Parts of it, sections, have been deleted, guys, so this is another red flag. Why would they do that? Why? If you don't have anything to hide, why would you do that? Okay, so 15 strong watching. Hello, 15. Unity says 16 new official Unity calling approved. Yay. Sheila says I do as well. Lucy just started anti. Sorry. Lucy says Martin says the coroner was weak and followed the police narrative too readily. Yeah. I mean, he didn't want to bother, or either he was bought or he just didn't want to bother, because he just wanted this to be closed forever, so he could go on with his TV program and his, his status as true crime celebrity, cause of death. So yeah, you have interest. Personal interests cannot get in the way of an inquest. The truth has to prevail in a court of law or in the court of the coroner, okay? But he didn't do that, okay? Lucy says, I suffer with anxiety but not on medication. Nikki was really trying to help herself. Yeah, she was taking natural products as well because she had problem with insomnia, and which, by the way, if we are talking about just the menopause, it's a very common factor. It's a very common symptom, okay, of perimenopause or menopause. The first years of menopause, I think, is to have problems sleeping. So she was taking, I think, a lavender vape or something like that, very natural products. But of course, she was, I think she didn't want to take like pharmaceutics, because I think she really wanted to make this through, to make it through with natural, not as naturally as possible. Okay, so that tells you that she was strong-minded, and she was, she could cope, okay, naturally. +2, yay! So now we are down to 14 now. So yeah, whatever. So hello. Anyway, I'm glad you're there watching. Yeah. Yeah. So let's go on. So she has started her new job as a mortgage advisor, and she created the Facebook page Nicola Bulley Mortgage Advisor, okay, which has been slowly being deleted, okay, chunks of it have been removed, and I wonder why. She was finding the new job particularly stressful. Well, I mean, that's natural, considering that she was the one who did everything in the house and with the girls. By what we know, she was the one who really was the one doing everything in the house, taking care of everything, including taking the girls to school. And of course, and she got a new job because this means either they needed the money, the extra money, or she just wanted something new in her life. But she started getting stressful. Okay, so this is normal when you are a mother and you have children to mind and you have a house to keep and you have, a family, a routine. You need to, do household work, and if you have small children, and if you and she was very involved, in the in activities in St. Michael's. So yeah, and if you add a job, it could get very stressful, right? It doesn't mean that she didn't like it, but maybe she felt, okay, I have all these symptoms, so I'm going to go to my doctor just to take care, just to take care of my health. That's fine, that's normal. And the GP ordered some blood tests, which all were normal. Dr. Gray said there is no mention in the records of Nikki reporting any suicidal feelings or self-harm. Yeah, I mean, because she didn't commit suicide or self-harm. And this is her GP, okay? A GP is always, especially when a woman comes to her and says, I'm anxious and this and that. A good GP will always look at you and see if you have, I don't know, signs of DB or whatever. Um, and normally, I don't know in your country, but in my country, when a woman goes to see their GP or their gynecologist, they ask you if you're, being a victim of TB. It's just a safe measure, to protect women. Okay, I don't know how it is in your country, but I'm sure her GP as a woman, she would have she would have observed Nikki as a patient and see if she was being, abused or whatever. Obviously, she didn't see any sign of that. So, in February 2022, Nicola spoke struggling with sleep as a result of work stress. Yes, okay, so yeah, work if can be pretty stressful, and if you have a family to mind and a house to keep and a budget to keep, whatever, normal life can be pretty stressful, but that's normal. She says, Dr. Gray says she described how her brain felt like it was overloaded, which is very common when when you are a mom and you are doing a million things at a time. It's very common, and especially at 45, when you start to get older, you need an extra care. You need to take your vitamins to make your exercise, whatever. You need to mind your body and mind even more when you hit the middle age, okay? Because you are more prone to get fatigue, and if you put that on top, you put the menopause. Yeah, it's like a storm, and you need to sail through. You need to take care of yourself at that age. So she felt her brain was overloaded, which that's a sign of anxiety and overthinking. I think she was an overthinker. She was always like meticulous, I think, and she always took care of everyone, everything in the house. Um, yeah, so no, I mean, it's obvious that she will be stressed and overloaded. Um, she had tried taking Nitol, herbal tea, and a sleep spray. So she tried natural remedies, okay? She didn't want to take anxiety pills or anything like that by this account, okay? So that speaks of somebody who, also maybe somebody who maybe didn't want to admit that she needed more, like maybe a pill or something, but also speaks nicely because about her, because it shows she was like a strong-minded person. So yeah, that's a plus, And going on January 11th, 2023. So this is the day after her sister and Paul called the police on her, the ambulance on her. On January 11, 2023, Nikki went to the walk-in center at Fleetwood and said that she had fallen and banged her head on the previous night. This is the previous night that they called the police. I want to know the details. Why no details, no more details are available? So she fell the night that police and the mental health team were called on her. Has she fallen before that or afterwards? I want to know. I want to know that. Let's see, people, are you saying anything? Yeah. Lucy says, I'm 36 and struggling already. Well, yeah, because perimenopause can start in your 30s. So, yeah, the struggle is real. I have been going through it as well as a woman of around Nikki's age. So, yeah, I get the struggle, the pressure, the symptoms. But if you're strong-minded, and I know Nikki was, you get through it. It's a natural phase of life. It's not death. It's just a natural phase of life. It can be harsh, but you can go through it. You can get through it. Okay? If you need to go to the doctor, etc., etc. All the options are available now for you to get through it. Okay? And it's a natural stage of life. Okay, so these symptoms are normal. Okay, they're natural. They're not an illness, right? So, thank you, Gritty. Lucy, yes, you're welcome. I am a woman as well as you are, and I am older than you. But yeah, I mean, there have been days that it's like, am I going crazy here? Or feeling like fatigue, like Nikki reported, the fatigue, maybe problem sleeping, like waking up in the middle of the night out of nowhere, heart racing, anxiety, brain fog. Yeah, I have experienced all of that, okay? But I'm getting through it because, I know it's natural. And today we have all the information out there, so we no longer need to feel afraid. We can just go on internet and search good places to look for information, and we will learn that everything is natural, and that if you're really struggling, you can go to the doctor and you can just get some things for anxiety or whatever. It's not like we're living in the stone age, right? So yeah, and that links to how I was fuming when they released her private information, picturing her as this alcoholic, menopausal, like woman, crazy woman, and that ties into it for me. Okay, 10 people watching now. Okay, so let's get on. So this is very like, for me, it's like a red flag. After the police encounter on the 10th of January, where her sister called police on her, on Nikki, she had fallen and banged her head the previous night and was feeling drowsy and had been sick. Okay, had been sick. What does that mean? How was she sick? Why? Was she was it food poisoning? Was it too much alcohol? What was it? I want to know. She was sent to A&E at Blackpool Victoria Infirmary, where a head CT scan found no internal injuries. So, if she had had a CT scan, that means she banged her hair pretty bad, okay? Pretty bad. So why did that happen? Why did she bang her head so badly that she needed a CT scan the following day? Yeah, this is. I mean, what, she fell? Someone push her? Was she harming herself? But her GP says no signs of self-harming. She wasn't self-harming. Uh, I mean, was there a row in the house? And did she trip? Was she pushed? Because to have that kind of a bang on the head and then had to take a CT scan, that screams of domestic violence to me. I'm sorry, but if this was another case, everybody would be saying this was domestic violence. But because this case is taboo, it's a taboo. And it's hush hush. Oh no, you can't say that. But actually, I can. I mean, those are classic symptoms of DV. Okay, sorry. The woman going, banging her head, people calling the police on her, uh, as if to make her seem like the culprit, that like, but not the victim. And then she going to have her CT scan, and she doesn't say anything. Okay, that's typical for me. That would be typical behavior of domestic violence. I'm not saying that is the case. I'm saying that considering everything, those in other contexts are typical symptoms of domestic violence. Okay? So, what do you think, guys? Give me a second. Just give me a second, please. Bear with me. So yeah, let's get on. So she had a CT scan. So for me, she had no internal injury, but for someone to get a CT scan, that means that the bang on the head was pretty bad. I mean, if I bang my head and it's just a normal bang, who hasn't banged their heads before, right? By accident. You don't go and get a CT. I mean, they give you a CT if you really banged your head really badly, and that's a red flag for me. What happened there? What the hell happened that night on the 10th? Let's see the people with the people. 15 people watching, yay! Again, hello. Hello, y'all. Hello, y'all. Yes, Lucy said yes, domestic violence. Yes, Lucy, I agree. I think this was a case of domestic violence, possibly. I'm not saying this is a fact, because I'm not an arrogant person that I would state as fact something that I don't know, really don't know about, but I can only speculate based on all the knowledge we have about battered women syndrome, okay? And the fact that Nikki was feeling stressed, she had gotten a new job, and oh dear, and then she bangs her head so bad that she has to get a CT scan. I mean, that's pretty bad. And do you remember, go back to my previous videos, there is a podcast I made months ago about crime in Inskip area, and you will see what I mean. There was crime committed as sexual violence in the Inskip area, very near to a certain house. Go back and look and search for it. Search on my channel, search for Crime Maps UK, and you will see what I mean. There was being crime committed right next to a certain house before all this happened. Okay, so I'm sure this wasn't the first time that either the police was called, or I'm sure the neighbors knew something was up. There were rumors at the beginning of this case rumors, like, and I think they were believable rumors because they were right at the beginning of the case, and there were alleging that neighbors have heard and have seen PA dragging Nikki in the garden, and they had heard rows inside the house and in the garden. And so those are classic. And then oh, I banged my head and I need a CT scan. Oh, what happened to you, dear? Oh, nothing. I'm just so clumsy, doctor. That's typical domestic violence 101. The woman is trapped in the marriage or in the relationship, and she's the victim, and she's like scared shitless for her life, for her children's lives. That's a possible scenario. This is just a hypothesis. I'm not stating it as fact. I'm just basing it on statistics of TV and on fact. The fact that she had such a bang on her head, and the fact that we know from the UK crime maps, there was beforehand in the previous years, there was um, violence crimes and sexual violence crimes and harassment, and I don't remember the terms, but go to that video and just look for yourselves. The crimes were committed very, very near a certain house. So what are the odds, guy? What are the odds? It paints a picture, doesn't it? I'm sorry, but I can't help but come to this conclusion, which is a hypothesis. Okay. So let's see the people. Hello, still 15 strong. Hello, Essex boys. Outlaw. I fought the low and a low one. I fought the low and a low one. Hello, Essex boys. Outlaw. Hello, nice to have you here. I have missed you for the last two, I think. Martin says DB likely, and saying she'd fallen would cover it up. Is typical of a battered woman to say that, oh, I'm so clumsy, I just fall down, I just, smashed my head, because, I'm an alcoholic and I fell down the stairs, which is bull crap, And that's why they try to portray her as a menopausal alcoholic. Remember that, guys. Do not ever forget about that detail, okay? And that was Paul and possibly Luis in on it. Yeah, Martin says I walked into a door, but here she needed a CT scan, so it was more like, oh dear, just, I just fell down the stairs, I'm so clumsy. Oh dear, that is so bad. It's so bad. Scarlet Spear, absolutely. Hello, Scarlet Spear. Essex boys, I fought the low and a low one. Hello, everyone. Hello, Essex boys. Nicola saying, Essex says, Nicola saying, I don't want to be here, was not wanted to be in the house with Ansel. Yes, exactly. And I will go to, when I get on the, I'm reading from the Inquiry Day 1, so we will get there. When she says that, I always thought as well that she just didn't want to be there with those people in that house, not including her children, of course, her lovely, blessed children. God bless them. Hello, Val. Hola, mi amiga. Hola, mi amigo. I don't know, Val Clark, are you a man or a woman or whoever? Hola, mi amiga. Hola, mi amiga. Hola, mi amigo. Val Clark. It's glad to have you here. Never seen you. I think I saw you in the first live. Scarlet Spear, yes, a real red flag, offering safe place to stay. Exactly. Her supposed friend, which afterwards she backpedaled, and she said, oh no, I just was, being, like, I didn't mean to offer, I didn't mean to imply that She didn't feel safe at home. Uh, she her friend Nadia backpedaled. I think because the pressure of the police and everything and the pressure of the official narrative was so strong that even her friends backtracked. Okay, but Nadia, I mean, we all have the screenshot, right? She offered Nikki a safe place to stay. Why? That is because she, as a woman, she intuited that something happened to her domestic violence wise. Okay. Yeah. So you're right, Scarlett. Lucy says she was drinking because of Ansel, probably, but I mean, was she really drinking? Was she drunk when the police and the mental health team went there? Was she drunk? Is that said on the inquest? I'm going to find out. Essex boy says Coroner should have asked Ansel how did Nicola hurt her head. Yes, exactly. But he never asked, did he? He never asked. I mean, the police should have asked. I mean, the police should have treated this as a possibly criminal case, and they should actually have put the heat on Paul. Okay, why and how did Nikki, banged her head on the 10th when the police was called on her? Why, how, and why did she bang her head so badly that she had to get a CT scan the next day, right? Drunk and drugged are different things. Yeah, I mean, she could have been drugged, she could have been drunk. I don't know. They don't specify, do they? But if you take all the details into account, they didn't find. It doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't, because her GP, her doctor, said she had no mental issues. Okay, she didn't self-harm. She didn't want to commit suicide. She was fine. She just was anxious and stressed, which is very common in this life. Lucy says, was going for the CT scan a cry for help? When women are battered in domestic violence towards women and also towards men, but more towards women, because women are the most ones who are battered, and the women always, they feel they can't speak, but they show signs, right? I don't know if it was a cry for help. Maybe she tried, I don't know, because we have so little information regarding this, right? 19 people watching. Wow. 19 people. Hi, y'all. Yay, 19, 18 now. Oh. But yeah, so as you can see, just from reading this, what the Nikki's GP said, you can unpack a lot of information, and you paint a picture, you paint a possibility, and yep. So the January 11th, the walk-in center, the doctor, when she had her CT scan, because she had fallen and banged her head the previous night. So what happened there? How did she come to that injury? That's a huge red flag right there. Okay. Essex says Paul done a job on Louise, the sister. Got her over once, already drugged, and got her to take charge and call authorities. Well, it's a possibility. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case with all the information I have. Okay. And if you think about logically and what happened afterwards, and she wasn't suicidal and she wasn't an alcoholic, wreck. She wasn't harming herself. So what happened? What happened? Security measures remain high. Oh yes, because the people are terrorists. Oh dear. Okay, so mental health doctor. Okay, Teresa Louise Levi is next to speak. She is a mental health clinician who was involved with the home treatment team. And the Synergy vehicle, which is the mental health and emergency response vehicle. So, this woman, she's a clinician, mental health clinician, and she was the one who was on the team or in the team, on the team with the team that went on the 10th of January that attended the Nikki Bulley household. Okay, so this is crucial as well, guys. So listen up. Miss Levi explained that on January 10th, 2023, just 2 weeks before Nicola went missing, her sister Louise Cunningham called the mental health team and asked for some assistance with her sister. The family was concerned with her increased alcohol use and the impression that she didn't want to be here. Maybe it's because she didn't want to be there in that house. Maybe she was drinking. If she was drinking, maybe she was drinking because, as a coping mechanism, as a defense mechanism, just to blur reality, because she didn't want to, because things at home have gotten so bad that it was a typical coping mechanism, okay, to drink. And she was saying that she didn't want to be there, here, so here, the house, because she didn't commit suicide, did she? I mean, if the verdict is accidental death, then she didn't commit suicide, right, Sherlock? So if she said she didn't want to be here, she didn't want to be in that house with those people. She just wanted to be with her girls, okay? The team arrived at Nicola's home at 7:30 p.m. with police and a paramedic also there. So 7:30 p.m. So it was a what day was January 10th? Oh dear, I need to look in the calendar. Give me a sec. Because days, everything is important here. All the tiny details speak of the truth of what happened really. So if I go to January, the 10th, it was a Tuesday. So why the hell was her sister at Nikki's home? Why? On a weekday? That's strange, isn't it? I mean, for me it's strange. I mean, because for me, family members, outside your house, they come to your house, or you go to their house, you visit on weekends, not on Tuesdays. That's a working week, a working day. So why was she there? Did Paul call her? Concocting some fake story? So to maybe Paul, what did he called Louise, so so he would implicate her in the whole mess. Okay, that's another possibility. Remember, violent men, and I'm not saying Paul is a violent man, I'm saying this is a hypothesis based on these facts and all the info, all the context, and the fact that as per the coroner, she didn't commit suicide. So what was happening there? Why did Paul call Luis? Was Luis at home with Nikki? Why was Luis at home on a Tuesday? Who does that? In the middle of winter? I mean, if it was like summer, I could understand it, but not really, because it's a work day. So it's very strange altogether, Let's see, people, 15 people strong. Bal, hello, Bal. Mi amiga says, was it her body that they found, or has she been involved in something and is now in witness protection? I don't believe that version, Val. Um, I mean, because there wouldn't have been an inquest. I mean, it's too complicated. Most of the time, the truth it's very simple, and with this context and all the information, I don't think she was in witness protection. I think she was. I think she was murdered. Okay. Uh, so. Um, I mean, it is a possibility. I mean, if you think about it, everything can be a possibility, but I try to be just to work with the evidence, okay? And I mean, I have gone down so many rabbit holes with the Nikki Bulley case, and so many avenues. But now I'm going just with the inquest and the context that we know of, okay? Yeah. So let's go on. So another red flag for me. Why was her sister in the house on a Monday in the middle of winter at 7:30 p.m.? What was she doing there? I don't understand. Okay, was she called by Paul saying, "Oh, Nicola's acting crazy. Please come here"? And how far does Louise live from the bully household? How far does she live there? If she drove there, how far does she live from there? Okay, those are big questions for me. It just doesn't match for me. The day was a Monday, the middle of winter, 7:30 p.m. What was she doing there? According to Mrs. Levi, Nicola was appropriately dressed. Okay, so she wasn't like a crazy woman, like half naked, shouting and throwing things in the wall, on the wall, She was properly dressed and appeared to be intoxicated. Okay, so she was drunk. Okay. Or she had been drugged, right? It's a possibility knowing what we know, all the shady, the red flags. But okay, she appeared to be intoxicated, okay? Nicola told her she had lost weight as a result of her increased alcohol use. Really? Because, in the photographs that we saw, well, we don't have photographs of her. Because remember, when this first case came into our attention, we went to the Nicola Bulley Facebook, her personal page, and she hadn't been posting since September, November, December 2022. She has stopped posting publicly on her personal Facebook. So we don't know if she had lost weight. We don't know about that. But apparently what she told Miss Levi, Nikki told her that she had lost weight because of her increased alcohol use. Is that a thing? I mean, was she drinking that much? Was she? And if she was, I want to know why did Paul Ansel let her alcoholic partner drive their children to school every day? I just want to know that, Paul. I want that answer, please. Because otherwise, this is another red flag and it doesn't make any sense. Plus, remember when Nikki, just 2 weeks after this episode, when she was allegedly was drunk, she didn't have, they didn't find any alcohol in her system. So she wasn't drinking. Well, she got better in 2 weeks. Like, one day I'm just a wrecking alcoholic woman, and 2 weeks later I'm just fine. It just doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry. Because an alcoholic, I mean, for an alcoholic, it's really, really, really difficult to stop drinking. And this goes for drug users. It's very difficult if those people are addicted. It's an addiction, so it's very difficult to leave the addiction, to stop using. Okay, so if she was an alcoholic, okay, and she's reported to have been drinking too much and he lost weight because of the alcohol, this implies that she had a really big problem with alcohol, right? But she was taking her children to school every day. So what does that tells us about the partner, Paul? What? He didn't mind? And further, like Mindchus would say, and further, if you know, if she was an alcoholic, how did she get better in just 2 weeks? How does that happen? Okay, it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry. And remember, they didn't find any alcohol in her system in the autopsy, so she wasn't drinking. Okay. Let's see the people. 14 people watching. Yep. So let's go on. This is a big red flag for me because this is a contradiction, and I don't like contradictions. When somebody died in dodgy circumstances, I don't like this kind of contradictions coming from everywhere. It's not just contradictions coming from the Penny Lane and co. It's contradictions coming from the family, okay, and the police. So it's contradictions all over, and someone is dead in shady circumstances. And I'm sorry, the fact that there are so many contradictions in the logic, that it just gets worse. So let's go on. I mean, for someone to lose weight because of her increased alcohol use, that means you have to really be drinking, like as an alcoholic, to actually lose weight. I mean, it means that you have to be drinking so much that you forget to eat that kind of alcohol taking level, right? I mean, do you follow my logic? This doesn't make sense. The conversation with Miss Levi was quite brief, so it was brief, okay? It's not like Nikki confided too much in her. And she goes on, and Nikki then said that she was tired and wanted to go to bed. Well, that's another for me in DB cases. It's like I've seen enough true crime with domestic violence, and I've seen too many news in my country with domestic violence and femicides, with violence against women. I have seen too many times that the battered woman, it's always making excuses like, oh, please, just now I want to go to sleep, right? It's like she doesn't want to tell too much, okay? So this behavior by Nikki, it's also, it ties in with the domestic violence context, okay? She can't confide in anyone because she's scared. That's the typical part of the cycle of abuse, okay? Dear. Let's see people who are there. She didn't look skinny, did she? Bal says she didn't look skinny, but we don't have recent pictures of Nikki. We remember she stopped posting publicly on her personal Facebook, so we don't have we don't have pictures of her from January. I don't think we do, so I can't say that we do, okay? Because she stopped posting publicly from September, I think it was, or November, December 2022 on her personal Facebook. Publications stopped, okay? Essex says, yeah, she didn't look skinny, did she? No, she didn't. She did look strong and fit, but we don't know. We don't have later pictures of her around January, do we? We don't, because I think the ones they posted online were of her previous post from before she closed her Facebook. And why did she close her Facebook? That's another thing I want to know. Why, if everything is public, you have thousands of public pictures in your Facebook, and then suddenly, from September, I remember it was September, October, November, December, she stopped posting publicly. Why did she do that? Why? I just want to know why, okay? Those are just things that have to be investigated. Well, yeah, okay, so let's go on. Oh, give me a second, guys. Bear with me. I need to pick up a package. Give me a minute. Here I am, guys. Sorry about that. Oh, I needed to pick a package. Ooh. So, where were we? 12 people watching. Hello, 12. I'm going to put the music. Yeah. Bal says perhaps Paul closed it, or her account. You mean he closed the public photos? Yeah, I don't know what happened. I mean, it will be also a sign of domestic violence if the domestic violence had started again, the abuse, and Nikki didn't want people to see her in a bad situation, okay? If she was drinking again, if she was losing weight because of her drinking, if she was looking rough and sad, maybe she didn't want people to see her that way, Either way, it's a red flag, okay? Yeah. Martin says, all Nikki's activity from the 10th of January shows something was seriously wrong in the household. Yeah, I agree totally. Yeah. So, I'm going to pour myself another yerba mate. Talking, it's thirsty work. But I have this nice beverage. So, so Nikki wanted to go to bed. Miss Levi said that although Nicola was intoxicated, she wasn't slurring her words. So that means she wasn't that drunk, really. I mean, she wasn't that drunk. When someone is really drunk, yes, they slur their words, okay? So, she was maybe she was just tipsy, So, if she was just tipsy and wasn't slurring her words as a true drunk would have done, why did I call the ambulance and the police on her? You see that there's, every time I read from this, there is a contradiction. So, she wasn't that drunk. Maybe she was just tipsy, but did that, I mean, being tipsy warrant being having the police called on you and the mental health team called on you. Really? Wow. You know, what a betrayal. And let's go on. So Nicola wasn't slurring her words, but she was repetitive in saying she wasn't sure how this had happened. So she wasn't sure how this had happened. So if she wasn't sure how how she came to be tipsy or intoxicated, doesn't that open the possibility that she was drugged on purpose? Because if you say I don't know how this happened, and she isn't able to quantify that with an explanation, why would Nicola said that? Because she wasn't drinking. She hadn't been drinking. Maybe she had just a couple of cups of glass of wine, which is perfectly healthy and normal, you know. And you know, it was the evening, so normal, right? And but she says to the clinician, the mental health worker, she says she didn't know, she wasn't sure. Imagine I am Nikki and I'm saying I'm not sure how this happened, but I'm not able to quantify that with an explanation. I mean, and those are quite a weird choice of words, don't you think? She was being logical, but also she was intoxicated, but she wasn't slurring. Therefore, maybe she had taken 2 glasses of wine, whatever. She wasn't drunk, but she didn't know how that had happened. So what if she was drugged on purpose? So then they had, you know, she went out of control. She started feeling bad, sick, as they say. And, you know, they say, okay, well, I'm going to call the police on you now and the mental health workers because you're out of control. Was she drugged? I'm wondering, because she didn't know. She wasn't sure how this had happened. If you drink and you're drunk, you say, sorry, I was drunk. You know, it's no big deal. I mean, the police is there, for fuck's sake. I mean, you're not going to lie to the police, are you? So was she really drunk that night, or something darker happened there? You know, the people. Yeah. So let's see, because you guys are saying something interesting in the chat. Yeah, lots of telltale signs ignored by everyone. Yes, totally, by everyone, literally everyone, but ignored by everyone but the people who want justice for Nikki. And Martin says, was she drugged by anyone? I mean, because I'm thinking logically here, I'm reading the exact words that Nikki said. She didn't know how she came to be that way. When the clinician asked her what happened, she says, I don't know what happened. So if you had been drinking, if you were drunk, you would say, I was just drinking, you know. Everything got out, you know, a little bit out of control, but I'm fine now. And she wasn't slurring her words, so she was able to speak properly. And if you look at the wording, she's very logical, but she was intoxicated. So I'm thinking she probably was drugged, possibly. Okay. Julie Wright, hello, Julie Wright. Uh, Welcome, Julie. You say it's all well being planned out. Yeah, I'm thinking. The more I read this inquest, the more I think everything was planned. Her demise was planned, and she was set up. Um, Essex boy says Ansel drugged her and messed with her Fitbit. In my opinion, who else could get that close? Well, yeah. I mean, you always have to look at the household, always. And I see here, reading this, I see typical signs of domestic violence. Okay, I'm not stating as a fact, but with the context, it makes sense. Let's go on. Uh, so Nicola couldn't explain what happened. So she didn't know what had caused her to be intoxicated. Therefore, ergo, she was drugged. I think it's a possibility, okay? Nicola was advised to go and see the GP the following day, but she said she couldn't as she was sorting her mortgage out. But then again, she went to the hospital next day, didn't she? And she had a CT scan. So why would she say she couldn't as she was sorting her mortgage out? Isn't that another way of deviating from the real conversation of, diverting as a coping mechanism, as a defense mechanism? Isn't that so? However, when Mrs. Levi spoke to Nicola's partner, Paul, he said there wasn't an issue with the mortgage and it wasn't something that was being done the following day. So he's saying that she is lying. Paul is saying that Nikki is lying. Can't you see the pattern here? Of somebody wanted to make someone else look bad as as alcoholics, liars, crazy people. Yeah. So he blatantly says he's lying. You know, that it wasn't an issue with them because he's contradicting what Nikki is saying to the doctor, to the police, and he's contradicting her. So oh God, this guy just, it makes me like so mad, how he manipulated everything, I'm sorry, just I can't help but feel that, so he contradicts Nikki in front of her, or not in front of her, maybe at the door. He contradicts what Nikki said. He contradicts it to the clinician, Mrs. Levi, and to the police. Okay. So that's another red flag, contradicting your partner. Oh, no, she doesn't have a mortgage. The fact remains that the next day she went for a CT scan because she had banged her head badly. But the doctor here, the clinician, doesn't say that she had banged her hair. She doesn't state, Mrs. Levi doesn't state here in her testimony that Nikki had banged her head. So what happened? Did she bang her head after the police were gone? And therefore she had to go to the doctor and had a CT scan on her head. Why wouldn't Mrs. Levi say, oh, she had banged her head, so we were concerned about her? But no, she just said that she appeared intoxicated, but she wasn't slurring her words. If she had banged her head before, when they called the police on her, wouldn't they tell the police and the mental health worker that Nikki had banged her head? But Miss Levi doesn't say that here. So she wasn't aware of that. She wasn't aware of the headbang that Nikki had banged her head so badly that she had to go to get a CT scan next day, the following day. So another huge red flag. So I'm thinking that Nikki banged her head, or someone banged her head after the police and the mental health worker had gone. What do you think, guys? I'm thinking logically. This is just pure logic. I'm basing it on what I'm reading here from direct from the inquest, okay, from the witnesses. Let's see the people. Whoa, 20 people watching now. Yay! Hello, 20. Hello, 20. Welcome. Oh, welcome, y'all. So, Essex says the sister dragged into it but not involved. Yeah, I think that maybe if she isn't involved, then Paul called her to implicate her in the mess and to have like a witness, Oh, so you can't say that I was, doing anything wrong against Nikki. He implicated the sister. He exaggerated Nikki's behavior. He might possibly drugged her, so she appeared out of control, and she didn't know what had happened. Nikki wasn't aware why she was in that state when the police came to her house. So maybe, like I said before, maybe Paul involved Louise to have like a witness to speak favorably towards him and unfavorably towards Nikki. Do you follow me? It's typical behavior of abusers, okay? And narcissists, okay? Um, the corner, yeah, narcissism, yeah. All abusers are narcissists, so yeah. The coroner again should have asked Paul Ansel how Nicola had bruised arms, as if not him, then she was certainly attacked, right? Yeah. I talked about that point. I covered that point on my previous lives. How the dead don't bruise. If she had bruises, how did she come upon those bruises? How those bruises came to be on her body? Because was she struck? Was she being physically abused? Was she being hit? Did someone hit her on on the fields that morning? However, it doesn't matter the scenario. She was bruised before dying, so someone had hit her, okay, attacked her, okay. Yeah. The useless corner didn't question anything or anybody. No, Martin, he didn't. So Julie Wright said, someone's attacked her. Think a few know who done it. Yeah, I'm sure the whole village knows. Maybe not the whole village, but all the key characters know what happened. Did Ansel already grab her arms to cause bruising in a DB relationship? Yeah. And why did Paul have a black eye? Why? Because maybe in one of those physical rows, maybe Nikki, she struck him in self-defense. Remember, he had that nasty bruise on his right eye. Remember? That's another sign. Okay. 22 people. Yay. Hello, 22. Hello. need to welcome. Bal says Ibis like the damned. Ibis, you mean like St. Michael's. So let's get on with this. So as you can see, guys, just a few paragraphs, just a few lines tell you the truth, or tell you a very possible scenario, different, very different from the scenario presented by, the key characters, by the family and by the coroner and by the police. Okay? So the truth is always in the lie. Okay? Always. And the truth is always in the details. So it's been 109 minutes streaming, so almost 2 hours, but that's fine. I'm going to go through here. I'm going to continue. So when asked if Nicola appeared depressed, Miss Levi said, no, not that I could ascertain at the time. So she wasn't depressed. I mean, so this means that she, as a clinician, Miss Levi, she had the tools to tell whether someone is depressed. So she only thought that Nikki was intoxicated, and that she said she didn't know what had happened, but she didn't appear to be depressed. Okay, that's important. Or maybe Nikki. And remember, Miss Levi said that she spoke to Nicola for only a brief time. Okay, you can't really ascertain whether someone's depressed in just a few minutes. Maybe Nikki was hiding it. I mean, remember, domestic violence victims, unfortunately, are very good at hiding the signs of abuse and the symptoms, like depression. Oh dear. So this concludes Nicholas Chippy and Miss Levi, the attendant, the mental health attendant. Now we go on. Family evidence begins. Oh, whoa. So this is like boom. It's another bomb. The inquest has now moved on to the stage where the family members are being invited to give evidence. First to speak is Nicola's sister, Louise Cunningham, who breaks down in tears after being asked what type of person she was. After composing herself, she said Nicola was very much a planner. Yeah, like I said, she seemed to be a very strong-minded person, organized, always on all the details. She was the one doing everything in the house, etc. And that she was just amazing. Every Christmas, Mom and Dad would buy her a Springer Spaniel calendar, and every January, Nikki would transfer everything onto the new one with a color-coded system. So she was very organized. And another thing, I know I just don't like sentimentalism, like cheap sentiment. And I mean no disrespect to Louise. I really don't. But again, they are playing at our heartstrings. Why would she speak about the Springer Spaniel calendar? I mean, why? How is that relevant? Well, maybe she was saying that she was well organized, so that makes sense. But at the same time, every Christmas, Mom and Dad, it's like tugging at your heartstrings, and I'm always suspicious of that, especially in a serious context like this one. This is not a trial, this is an inquest, so why would we need the sentiment, right? At the same time, I mean no disrespect to Louise, okay? But because she was there and she called the police on Nikki, and Nikki was fuming at her sister for having done so, I kind of do not like Louise as a character. I feel There's something there. Just I don't trust her completely. Okay. So she's talking about the Springer Spaniel calendar to make a point that Nikki was a very much a planner, um, a very organized person. Yep. So she goes on. Before having the girls, she was a mortgage advisor. After the kids, she resat her exams. She was just getting back into a routine of work again, and she was absolutely brilliant. I'm sure she was because she was an amazing Wonder Woman, okay? According to Louise, Nicola had a special bond with Willow. This is very important because Willow was bone dry, remember? She did have a very special bond with Willow. She said, he was, he was, she was. I mean, these reporters, for God's sake, I mean, they don't know how to write. She was, Willow was a she, is a she. She was like her third child. Remember, it's the same thing that Paul says in his Stanley Kubrick production Channel 5 interview in Vanished with Dan Walker, Doug Walker. Um, he said, Paul said that Willow was like her third child, the same that Louise is saying here. So the same wording. That's kind of odd. And she says she would always find time in her day to take Willow for a walk. Yet Willow didn't go into the river to rescue her mommy, okay, her mistress. Why? Why? Did I? Yeah. So is this just? Oh, the family evidence begins with Luis. So now we're going with. There is no way Nikki would leave Willow unattended. Yeah, I think the same. Asked about Nicola's mental health, Louise said, Nikki did have a bit of a blip over the Christmas period with her HRT. Yeah, a blip. Meaning what? However, come January, she had started to get back to her normal self. She was back on the HRT and back to work and back to normal Nikki. Her drinking did increase. Her drinking did increase? But what? But she was back to normal? Uh, okay, what? And what does Louise mean by a bit of a blip? What does that mean? I need to know what does that mean? What does having a blip over Christmas mean? That drinking too much? What? She doesn't say. And because he's it's like she's obfuscating what she's saying. Like everything is like everything is cloaked in this cover of darkness, in this veil. Why did she have a blip? What kind of blip? Okay, and then she was back to her normal self, but her drinking did increase that. So she's trying to justify that she called the cops and the shrink on her sister, right? However, she said her sister never ever confided in her about suicidal thought or anything related. Asked by the coroner whether she left the dog by the field, asked by the coroner whether she would leave the dog by the field if she ever did consider ending her life, Louise replied, absolutely not. There is no way Nikki would leave Willow unattended. You see, they're just talking bullshit because the questions that the coroner should be asking are not asked. And the questions that the police should have asked months before, they didn't. Discussing January 10th, when an ambulance was called, Louise said, it was a bit of a wake-up call for her, I think. Oh, really? Oh, really? Jesus. I mean, the cheek of it. I mean, Nikki can't defend herself. It was a bit of a wake-up call for her. Yet she wasn't drunk. and she didn't know why, what had happened to her. She was fuming with me for calling the ambulance. She thought I had overreacted, and maybe I did, but she is my sister and I was concerned. Yeah, Paul told you all the data, right? She started to get back to normal after that. Yeah, right. And then she disappears off of the earth, you know. She vanishes into thin air on the 27th of January. Yeah, right. She was getting back to normal. Yeah, okay, whatever. Um, it's like they say, like the two things are not connected, and the coroner ruled accidental death, so she didn't rule suicide, so she didn't commit suicide, which she would. It wouldn't be impossible. I mean, they would have found her. Uh, Louis last saw Nicola on a Friday, January 13. Oh my God, Friday the 13th. Having stayed with her sister for a few days after the incident on January 10th. So this is all Paul again, because he doesn't want to deal with Nicola and the family. He just calls her Louise, you know. Oh dear. And it just doesn't make sense. So she stayed with her for what? 3 days to supervise her sister. Yeah, and then Nicola disappears. Okay, so let's see how the people is doing. 21, hello 21. Hello 21 people. So, let's see what people are saying. Essex says, Gritty 22 is a whole football squad. Yes, it is. It's two teams, actually, yeah. That's funny. Village of the Damned. Yeah, the coroner didn't ask what he should have asked, and just went with the useless police narrative. Hello, Julie. Yes, I agree. A success. Yes, I agree about the calendars. Let's just stick to facts. She was organized, unless there is guilt. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there is guilt. I think Hansel was her third child. Oh my God. I always thought that Paul came across and still comes across as a man-child, as someone who shies away from real responsibility of taking care of his family. And yeah, I mean, why? I mean, okay, why does he need to call her sister Louise to take care of Nikki? I mean, Nikki was alright, and Nikki was all organized, and Nikki was fuming, was really, really angry at Louise. And Paul just called Louise to have an accessory as a fake witness. And because he thought, okay, and by the way, you know, Louise is going to stay here 3 days. So I'm going to be able to just go up to my office and do fuck all and just do what I want, have a wank, do a video game, whatever, and not be bothered about anything. And I know I'm being harsh. I'm sorry, but that's what I think, given all the information, all the context. I think he is not a responsible person. Not really. I think he's childish, and he doesn't want to take responsibility. And I wonder now that Nick is gone, what he's going to do, okay? How he's going to cope with having to take care of his kids and the responsibilities of the routine. Jesus Christ. The routine, taking care of a household. You know, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work if you have two kids, okay? And if you work and if you have, to do everything, I wonder what Paul is doing right now. And don't let me get started on his Facebook account. I did a video on that if you want to go back to my archives, and I did one video called Paul is back. I give my opinion, my reading on when he came back to Facebook. So, yeah, what is Paul doing right now? How is he coping? I want to know that. I would love to know that. Um, Essex says, Louise was a hot-headed girl growing up, I've been told, and the person I spoke to even had a fight with her walking to school one day. Maybe nothing but shows a character, not buying the calendar. Yeah, I mean, that is why I said because Louise called the police on Nikki. I see that as a kind of betrayal, especially because I think everything was orchestrated by Nikki's partner. It doesn't make any sense. And Nicola was fuming at her. So I'm not a fan of Louise. I'm not. She seems to be, yeah, like the quite the character, right? Because if you look at her photos, I'm sure she closed all. I mean, she put everything private. But before you could see some of her photos, and she looked like a hellraiser, like a hot-blooded woman. So yeah, it makes you wonder, right? Hello, Tarma. Welcome, Tarma. PA said she was very organized that morning. Louise is backing the same statement. Yeah, she was very organized because Nikki was organized. And also that morning, if we go by the CCTV, like the dash cam, the ring doorbell footage that Paul put out, we can see clearly that Nicola that morning was fuming. She was in a really bad mood. And I wonder what happened that morning with Paul. Tarma says, what's the engineering and her role in that company? Jeez, Luis. Oh, jeez, Luis. Tarma says, what's the engineering and her role in that company? The initial connection with PA at Larbeck. Another engineer in the same business as PA runs Wireside Hall company registered in Rettendon, Essex. Well, there is also a lot of dodgy information regarding Paul's businesses. So yeah, I'm not going to go into that now because it will just branch out too much. But yeah, I always thought that Paul's companies were shell companies, like fake companies. That's what I think, because I thought that money was involved in this. Who knows what? But I don't know about that. All I know is that he doesn't come off as a reliable character. He comes off as a ambiguous, dodgy, sketchy, ambiguous character, and he comes off as someone who he comes off as pretty vacant. Yeah, regarding the Nikki Bulley stuff after she disappeared. It's like, he can't be arsed. Yeah, it is as if they have conspired to tell the same story. Yeah, same wording, Same wording between PA and Luis, and also between PA and Emma. So, what I think is that Paul is this rock and roll guy. So, he had female fans, you know. Maybe he was a womanizer, maybe he is, who knows. And but he definitely appears to be like a man child who needs to be taken care of by women. Tarma says Luis, according to the inquest, texted Nicola at 8:52 a.m. and 8:19 a.m. about the spa date. Why those times? Yeah. What is interesting is that she texted Nicola the night before, I think, or the day before, and Nikki didn't answer her. I think Nicola was still like very angry with Luis. I would have been. Hello, Tarma. Julie Rice says they all had a meeting after Nicola disappeared, didn't they? Paul, Emma, neighbors, all of them. It's very possible. I mean, because the wording is so similar that you have to take it into account. Yes, but I think with this kind of group things, you know, with this, when there is something that happens like this, it has to be well planned, and there is always the main perpetrator, and it's always like the ringleader. And I think that if there is a ringleader in this scenario, the ringleader, it has to be the partner, okay? Because you can see how manipulative he is, how he manipulates women to say whatever he wants to say and to believe his narrative. He's very good with women. I realize that women love him. They are attracted to him, you know? And he portrays himself as this poor me. Oh, I'm this cowboy, rock and roller, so alone. And will a girl come and just take care of me? You know, it's like very seductive with women. That's what I think. That's what I get from him, you know? His words, the energy he has, how women, I mean, even her friend, Nadia. Oh no, Paul will never do that. Well, how do you know, Nadia? You weren't there. You weren't living with them. You know? People are not what they seem, especially abusers. I mean, abusers normally appear as really good people, are really nice people, because they are good at manipulating. They are experts manipulators, okay? So, oh, Paul, you had all the women fooled, and there's still lots of women, you know, supporting him. And yeah, I don't want to go further because, you know, I'm going to get too much, you know. Scarlett, hello, Scarlett. Julie's a true. Julie says, yeah, and apparently Paul gave away Willow. I don't know if that's true. If that's true, that's terrible. Tarma says when PA returned to his Facebook page after Sam Beckett, Sam Beckett, both Emma with her two profiles and Louise came out in support of PA. Yeah, not only them, many women, the majority of the people who are putting hearts, emojis, like heart reactions to those phony posts of him, oh, so lonely, I am so lonely, I'm feeling so lonely. I'm feeling so lonely. I'm doing an Elvis now, you know, like he's so lonely I could die. He pulled like a poor boy, so lonely, you know, all the women feeling sorry for him, putting heart reactions. Oh, come on. And even flirting with him. I mentioned that in long ago podcast I made about Nikki's case. A woman gave him a flirting emoji, and I thought, what the fuck? I mean, I think Paul has a lot of pull with women, you know. I think women like him. Scarlett says, yeah, someone said he gave Willow to the parents and Bo. I don't know about that, but if he did, that's a shame. Shame on him. Poor Willow. Well, I mean, Willow is better off with Nikki's parents anyway. And Val says, bought a puppy for the children, yes. Which is really weird. And Charma says Nadia has known Paul for a long time. Yeah, because they are all local. This is a local shop. We don't want any trouble here. So yeah, I mean, Nikki, just bear in mind the psychology, okay? Nikki was the outsider, okay? Everybody else was an insider in that village, in that area. They all knew each other from long ago, and Paul had worked as an actor, and Emma had appears in a photograph in Strictly Come Dancing with one of her entertainment industry friends. So and Paul used to be the singer in a rock and roll cover band. So he has that rock and roll boy vibe, like bad boy. And some women love that. They just are very gullible with those kind of men. Yeah. So 20 people. So wow, 20 people. That's great. So people. Here, Luis speaks about the the childhood names. Oh no, 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 please, no. I mean, this is like cheap sentiment. I don't like cheap sentiment. It's not. I mean, it's fine to have to remember somebody and remember the childhood names. I mean, but in this context, in this false, fake sham of a inquiry and inquest, the fact that they allowed her, it's like they are driving. Either they have a script to divert attention, so they pull at your heartstrings, like, oh, we had this childhood nicknames, and why do you have to talk about that? You're talking about the death, the strange and suspicious death of your sister, and you're talking about your childhood nicknames and whatnot. It seems like construed. It's like it is constructed to pull at your heartstrings and to get at your feelings of compassion towards Louise and Paul. So it's a way to divert your attention from the real questions, the real issues. Okay, so this is so suspicious. I'm sorry. And let's see. I find him revolting. Heart emoji puke. Scarlet. Yeah. I find him distasteful, and yeah, but I understand why some women might like his style, because he's like the bad boy. He's like, I'm a free boy. I'm the seeker. He just gives off that kind of energy to me, and because he was in a rock and roll band, and one of some of his photos, he looks like, oh, I'm hard man, I'm a rock and roller, I'm Elvis. In one of his pictures where he's in the band, he appears like this dark Paul, and I can see, and he's also a man child, and as you know, lots of women go for man children, because lots of women, it's like they want a man to take care of him. Jesus. So I know why Paul has that kind of allure, and I can see that. because I'm good at reading people. His energy, his demeanor, his he it's like his language, the way he dresses, the fact that he was an actor, the fact that he loved being alone and just being left alone. He didn't want any responsibility. Nikki was doing all the work. She bared the brunt of the responsibility in that family, and yet he he destroyed her memory. It's appalling. He released that information, and this ties in with what I have read regarding what Miss Levi said, the clinician that attended Nikki in the house. He contradicted Nikki. He said, "Oh no, he has no mortgage." So he's implying that Nikki is a liar. And why didn't the clinician speak about her head injury? Because her head injury had to happen after the police and Miss Levi left, right? I mean, it's just weird. And Louise was there. I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, it's so strange. It's like Stranger Things. It is like that. It's like Stranger Things. But anyway, 18 people watching. Martin is saying your analysis of PA's persona is spot on, Gritty. You see it or you don't. Yeah, because I work with lots of people, lots of clients. And you really start to know personality types. And Paul definitely is a narcissist. He's a man-child. He's this bad boy persona. This rock and roll bad boy persona. He does that. He does. Maybe he has a Peter Pan syndrome, that he feels younger than he is, and he doesn't want to take responsibility. He still thinks that he's, I don't know, 19, 18 years old, 17, and that he wants to go to his rock and roll band. He doesn't want this responsibility. And maybe, just maybe, he used Nikki as, I'm sure he loved her at some point, but Nikki bore the brunt of the responsibility in that family. But then he says she's an alcoholic, that she has issues. He even says when he arrives at the scene, at the bench, he says on the phone to Anne-Marie Fletcher, with, by the way, it's another dodgy character, Anne-Marie Fletcher. He tells her on the phone that Nikki's struggling. He's mirroring her again. I mean, she just has disappeared, and you're smearing her. You're disclosing personal information that she's struggling. But then on the Channel 5 interview, everything is fine. Everything is perfect. Oh, we are so perfect. We are so good. Why did this happen to us? And she's not in the river. Somebody knows something. It's like somebody knows something. She's not in the river. So, but he says to Anne-Marie that she's struggling. You see, it's another huge contradiction with Paul's character. Paul is very contradictory, as he's like I think he's the mass center of this case, and also we have the scenario with Penny Lane, or Penny, that maybe she was attacked there by the Penny Lane and co. But we don't know, do we? What we do know, reading now this portion, this context, like the Paul Ansel household, it's very dodgy. He contradicts, he lies, he smears Nikki. So yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm almost sure that she was in an abusive relationship, okay? Tarma says, my opinion is that Anne-Marie is one of the ringmasters in all of this. Yeah, Anne-Marie comes off as dodgy. She lives with Penny and Co. And she seems to know Paul, you know, um, and she was there. I mean, she was in the whole shenanigans, in the whole mess during when they supposedly found the phone and Willow and all that mess. But for me, it's like it's it's a decoy, like Peter Folding said. It's just she has to be in on it. Maybe she isn't, but she's part of the Penny Lane and Co. family. So yeah, and she spoke with Paul. She knew Paul. I mean, is there a woman in St. Michael's that Paul doesn't know? Yeah, blame the victim. Paul is always blaming the victim. He's always blaming Nikki with this ghosting that he does. But at the same time, he's saying, no, 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 she's not in the river. Somebody took her. Something happened to her. It's like, oh, she's painting this like a criminal scenario, and that she's not in the river, and that she was fine, that she was a great woman, a pillar of strength. She was the best friend if she was your friend, right? And he comes off so dodgy in that interview. But the fact of the matter remains that he didn't. He's the typical narcissist that ghosts people. He does ghosting because why didn't he said in the interview that she was struggling? Why didn't he say it on the open? In the open, it's because first, it is a lie, and second, because it's like why did he send that footage, the CCTV footage of Nikki leaving her house? Why didn't he just publish it by himself to be open air in the air? No, he sent it. He said a friend, he posed as a friend of his, or he gave the footage to a friend to send to the YouTuber who later released it. Remember, it's like Paul never wants to be at the forefront. He doesn't want to be seen as the one causing the troubles, but he's the one causing the troubles. He's the one ghosting. He's the one smearing Nikki. He's the one who released the information, personal information about Nikki, which I think was totally exaggerated because her GP, her doctor, never ever said that she had problems with alcohol, with depression. The only thing she says is that Nikki was just anxious, okay, and that had trouble sleeping, and that she wasn't, and she was stressed about her new job. So, Paul is at the center of all the deception on this, okay? He's used manipulation, he ghosts people, and he plays the victim, and he victim blames, okay? So, and he released the footage to Grizzly True Crime, was it? He released the damning information about Nikki when she couldn't defend herself. He did. But at the same time, he said she's not in the river. Something happened to her. So then, and what? Why did you release that information? And he said to Anne-Marie, he's struggling. So she is already smearing her on the very day she disappeared. And she's mirroring, he's disclosing private information to a complete stranger, Anne-Marie, unless Anne-Marie wasn't a stranger, right? It's very contradicting. So it's very interesting, don't you think? If Nicola was attacked and held down, then bruising is exactly where you expect it to be, along with the bruise. Yeah, well, Essex Boys, I talk extensively about that point on my previous live in the part one. In the day one lives. I did 3 lives on the day one inquest, and I talk about the bruising, and I think that if she was attacked and held and taken somewhere else, that's how she got bruised, okay? Either way, the coroner should have never ever said this was an accident, because there's two too much contradicting suspicious information, okay, suspicious scenarios, and with good base. uh, uh, there was bruising and facial injury that was ignored at the inquest. Yes, Martin, there was. It was ignored. It was ignored. Why would she have bruises on her? Why? Unless someone attacked her, or unless someone was abusing her previously, at home. You see, you have the two scenarios. We have at least two possible logical scenarios that don't involve death by accident nor suicide, of course. But what I am rejecting is the coroner's verdict of death by accident. Okay, that's what this is all about, is rejecting the coroner's verdict. So if you listen to all my lives regarding the inquest and this part one of day 2, you see how logically we have constructed two possible scenarios. Okay, one takes place at the Penny Lane and Company, and the other at Nikki's household. And maybe the two are linked, okay? But if you look at them separately, they are very plausible, they are logical, okay? So the coroner shouldn't have declared an accidental death verdict, thus, therefore, closing the case forever, okay? They washed their hands of Nikki, okay? Yeah, poor Nicola, says Julie. Tarma says, how could she have been caked in mud when the river is silt? Yeah, why? Unless she was just dropped there, right? Injury to the nose and eye. Yeah, I wonder why. Wouldn't that be because of a punch, right? Grass and mud on her foot, like being dragged on the mud before being disposed in the river. Yes, very good. Not enough water in the lungs for cold water theory. Yeah, and that's bullshit, because we know she was an intelligent person. Obviously, she was a very like I said, strong-minded, logical person. If she fell in the river and she was a good swimmer, she would have be quickly on her feet again. She wouldn't have drowned, okay? Because it's impossible. If you listen, please listen to my previous lives on this case, on the inquest, and I say how it is impossible that her heart started racing at 9:22, but she walks for 8 more minutes. Wow, she drowned in like 10 seconds, but then she kept walking for 8 minutes. It's impossible, guys. It's just impossible. Okay, she didn't drown there. She didn't. Okay. Cocaine involvement. Hello, Kid Fashion. Hello, Kid Fashion. Another one, a new one on the chat. Nice having you here. Nice meeting you. Martin says it doesn't accord with accidental death, more like murder. At least open verdict, so more people would be able to bring on more proof and make more noise. And what really baffles me, Martin, and everybody there in the chat, is like her family apparently begged the coroner to say death by accident. Why? Why? I mean, some families are like that, guys. Really, because remember, Nicola's father has a lot of money. He has a freight company, so that means transporting goods and transporting, import, export. So that tells you something, doesn't it? He is wealthy in his own terms. What happened there? Is there something dodgy there going on with the family, with the whole family? Why did they want to? I mean, it was their daughter. And there is more than enough information that she didn't drown there, that she didn't fall by accident, that Paul is Dolce, Penny Lane and Coward Dolce, there are contradictions. The timings don't match, okay? The Fitbit data makes it impossible for her to have drowned and then walked for 8 more minutes. And remember, there were heartbeats until the 4th of February. Remember that as well, right? Yeah, Unity. The parents wanted closure. I think, yeah, I think that's some people are like that. They just want to, just they don't want to they just don't want to deal with it. You know, maybe because they are like that. They are, I don't know. They don't have the energy. They are too grief stricken, but they want closure. But I mean, it was their daughter. It was their daughter, you know. I know there are people like that who don't want to know, who just want to hush hush and just go on, move on. I get that. But for me, that's not, it should not be like that. You know, you see in many true crime situations where the parents, like, the police don't want to know, the police don't want to bother, but the parents know that something happened, and they push until justice is done. But her parents didn't do that. Maybe it's because they are just like that. They just want to move on, and that's it. I find it kind of cold, you know, in a way. But maybe it's because I'm South American. Maybe it's just that, you know, a cultural thing. I don't know. I don't think so. Hello, 22. Yay. Unity says 22 people watching. Hello, 22. So, what I'm gleaning from this is that uh, it's 9:30 p.m. there. So, and it's a Thursday. So, this is a good time to come on future lives. Maybe I should do it later. Tarma says she was aware, I feel, of more sinister stuff going on with her home, finances, relationships. Children are weapons and possessions with narcissists. Well, yeah, when you have abuse and domestic violence, the children are either a nuisance or a weapon. Yeah, totally. And I hope to God, I pray to God that those two precious little girls are safe, always safe. And I'm praying right now in front of everyone, and I'm going to take the medallion that my granny left me, and I'm going to pray to God that Nikki's daughters are safe always, always. And I pray that they have a safe, happy, long life, and and that they are guarded from any form of evil. Okay, I pray for that, for Nikki's children. That's all I care about in this case, about bringing Nikki justice and the truth, and and bringing the children have the right to know the truth. It's a bad thing to lie to your children. It's a bad thing to lie to your children. Children should be told the truth. The truth is always better than the lies, because the lies grow and grow and grow with the years. As the years go by, down the line in the future, and these precious girls grow up, they are going to want to know what happened to their mommy. I assure you of that, okay? Because they're going to be teenagers, they're going to be adults, and they're going to be wondering what happened to mommy, okay? And I'm doing this for Nikki, for Nikki's memory, and for her children, because I am a mother too. And oh God, my children are the most precious and important thing in my life. Is the only thing I care about is my children. So Nikki was like that too with her children. So I pray that I know that their children, her her girls are going to want to know the truth someday. That is why you don't lie to your children, you know. You don't get them away from the truth, right? I'm not saying that you should give them all the gory details, but by declaring an accidental death, you are killing their mother's memory, their mother's truth. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's a very bad idea to lie and to try. I think always it's a very bad idea to hide the truth to children, you know. And I'm sure they're going to, in the future, they are going to want to know more about this. And that is why I'm doing this series on Nikki, just for her children, you know, and for Nikki, because she can't defend herself, and they have smeared her person, and they have washed their hands off her, and they just they killed her memory, and they killed the truth. Okay, so yep. Thank you. Yes, prayers. I'm going to put the prayer sign here. Copy and paste. Come on, man. What are you doing? Oh, it doesn't let me put the prayer. Come on, man. Copy image and Control B. No, it doesn't let me. Prayers for Nikki's girls. Yes, you know, and I have my medallion that my beloved grandmother left for me. My mother gave it to me some years ago. It's always with me, and for me it's like when I pray, I always have the medallion, because I know my granny used this medallion for prayer every day, you know. So it's charged with her beloved spirit, you know, her beloved goodness, you know. She was a good person, my granny. And so yeah. So guys, I'm going to stop by now, because I'm gone over 2 hours, and I need to do some things here in my house. And I'm going to continue the series. Remember, guys, I did go back in my channel, and you have the 3-parter series. They are live, and they cover the first day of the inquest, and this is the first part of the second day of the inquest. Okay, and tomorrow or the day after, I'm going to do the second part, and so on, until I conclude my thoughts and my analysis of the Nicola Bulley Inquest. Okay, always stating that it is a sham. It is it's shameful, really. And there are many deceitful characters here, liars. Yeah, so I'm going to do all the parts necessary to conclude my thoughts on the whole inquest. Yeah, by reading and by commenting with you guys, along you guys, because I love your input. This is a conversation. And yeah, and then I have more material on Nikki, okay? But I'm not able to, I want to do those videos in a proper way, not on my phone. So I'm, you know, before I go, I'm telling you guys that I have a coffee account where you can donate if you want towards a new computer. I put it up like 2 weeks ago. And thank you, Martin, and thank you, Melinda from Australia, who donated towards that cause. and it's for a new computer to make better, richer content, because I have more podcasts I want to make. I want to show you that I have on about Nicola, and but I need a new computer because the one I use, the PC, is very old. It's from 2010, and it doesn't have the capabilities. You know, it's a Windows 7. I can't stream on that computer, and I can't show you these lives on my phone. They are limited. I can only show you like this, you know. Otherwise it's very like bothersome. So if you want to donate for my channel, to make a better channel, go to coffee.com/gritty. It is the address, it's on the description box, and if you want to donate, I'm eternally grateful to you guys. And yeah, that's what I want to say in the end. I want to make better content, and I want to show you the content that I have on Nikki, that it has nothing to do with the inquest. It's something that I came about, you know, and I want to show you things, more things like pictures, and you know, I want to make richer content. So you go there if you want, okay? And thank you in advance. So oh, Bal, you are female. Oh, okay. Hello, Bal. Hello. Hello, Bal, mi amiga. Yeah. Hello, Bal. So you're a woman, okay? Amiga. It's not amigo, it's amiga. Yeah. You are my amiga. Oh, that's sweet. Hola, Bal. So how do you know Spanish, Bal? Is are you living in Spain or something, or did you just did you learn Spanish sometime in the past? Yeah. So I'm going to leave. Oh, you live in Spain, Bal? Oh, Spain is my motherland. Well, not entirely, you know. I have Spanish blood by my. Oh dear. I have some Spanish blood, but then I have Basque blood from the Basque people. Also have Native American blood from the natives here in my country in South America, and I have, I believe I have Moorish blood from the beautiful North Africa. I think, you know, I've done my research on my own ancestry, but yeah, big part of my ancestry is Spanish. So, and I talk Spanish. I mean, I live in South America. So, oh, Spain. It must be really nice now in Spain, isn't it, Val? It must be. I mean, summers in Spain are beautiful. And whereabouts are you? Viviendo aquí por 22 años. So you have been there for 22 years. Wow, that's a long time. Wow, that's nice. It's like, did you go there because of the weather, or anyway? I'm not going to ask, but Spain is beautiful. Near Castellón. Castellón, yeah. Castellón. Castellón. That's so beautiful. Also, you're in Eastern Spain. Eastern Spain. Right. Right. You know, oh, you have arthritis. Oh, yeah, so the weather is very good. Yeah, the Spanish weather, especially in the south, it's very good for arthritis because it's like the climate is dry. So, yeah, that's true. So 14 people watching. So I'm going to leave here, guys. I'm going to hello, bye, Lucy. Goodbye, Scarlett. Yeah, and I'm going to leave you. I know I don't want to seem pushy, but I'm going to leave my coffee link. So if anyone wants to help my channel, you can do so. So it's coffee.com/great. Thank you. Yeah. So Martin, goodbye. Bye, Essex boys. I fought the law and a low one. Yeah, the law always kicks you in the butt, especially if the law is the corrupt one. Yeah, uh, Essex. Yeah. Oh, so I'm going to leave a little bit here until before I switch it off. I'm going to leave just a minute for you to say goodbye. And if you want to say anything else on the chat, uh, I love you guys. God bless you all. Thank you for being here today. I broke a record, 22 people online watching Gritty Astro. I'm very thankful for you guys. It's a pleasure to converse with you. It's really a pleasure. You're all uh, gentlemen and ladies. You're really, really nice people, and you seem like really proper. I mean, you don't cause trouble in the chat. I've seen chats in other channels when people are just trashing each other and just saying like really bad words and stuff. But you guys are really nice. So, I'm really thankful for having such a nice audience. And you're not just the audience, you are interacting because I love your points, the points you make, and I love because this turns into a conversation, and that's my aim, just to converse, okay? Yay! Love ya! God bless you, love ya! Love ya all. So 11 watching now. So I'm going to let this stream a little bit more. I'm going to change this into this. Nikki. This is her, Nikki spirit in the woods, like the greenery, the nature. I'm sure she's looking over us. I'm sure of that. And I'm sure she's watching over her girls. And I did just pray for her girls, okay? Pray for her girls that they are always safe. That they are always safe and they have a beautiful, beautiful, long, happy life, okay? Buenas noches, Val Clark. Buenas noches, mi amiga guapa. Thank you, gracias. Buenas noches, que tengas una noche hermosa, Val. Es muy lindo hablar en español. Es un lindo cambio. Me encanta tener una suscriptora inglesa viviendo en España que habla español, me encanta. So don't go back to my channel if you want to. I did lots of podcasts on the case of Nikki, and I have been lately. I have been covering the inquest detail by detail, word by word. Yep. So go back there, check my channel, and listen to it if you want. I talk about many other things regarding the Nicola Bulley case. Have a great night, everyone. If the chat disappears for a for a bit, it's because the YouTube is processing my live, so it's going to come back again. So don't worry, okay? Thank you for watching. And I am hashtag I am Nikki. Hashtag I am Nikki. I created the hashtag I am Nikki, so to remember her and to make it obvious that we are not forgetting her case and we will never forget her. Because this is not about just Nikki, it's about women in general, people who are just forgotten, and their cases don't go any further when they should have, I am Nikki, / I am Nikki. Hashtag I am Nikki. I'm going to put it. Hashtag I am Nikki. Julie, thank you. Yes, prayers and a heart for Nikki. Essex Boys, te amo más que el aire que respiro. Do you know Spanish, Essex Boys? That's very nice, thank you. That's very nice to say. Oh, I love you guys. That's very nice, Essex Boys. Te amo más que el aire que respiro. Very romantic. And we Latin people, Latin Americans are very romantic, passionate. Also, we are not politically correct. We are direct. We are passionate. Yep. So, goodbye, guys. God bless you. See you soon here in my channel, Gritty Astro. And, yep. Good night, everyone. See you.